This video is brought to you by Squarespace. I hate to say it, but I've got another product I absolutely love. I've said this so many times it's kind of ridiculous. Don't run out and buy a new product just because I like it. Recently, I've been doing a lot of brewing while out and about. I've been playing a lot of golf lately, and so I like to brew coffee out there. One of the biggest headaches is getting heated water. These are the Ikape, however you say that, Portable Espresso Maker. Now, this is a bit different than other espresso makers in that it has a heating element inside that can heat from room temperature up to the target temperature that you're wanting in like 3 minutes. It has a battery capable of doing that 8 to 10 times, which is way more than enough if you're out and about, then you can recharge it. I have two of them here that I want to go over in this video. The 58mm one and the 51mm. At $180 and $220, I believe, are the prices currently, respectively. Is it worth that price? Is it actually good? Is it something I'm going to be using? And is it something that you might want to consider if you are an espresso enthusiast or someone that wants to make something like espresso while on the go without having to worry about a jet boil type of thing, jet blue, whatever it's called, something to heat up your water, a kettle, if you can just get away with something like this. I kept seeing a friend of mine continuously post about this specific model on his Instagram, that is Fused Visions. This is someone who's been doing a lot of cool, innovative things when it comes to 3D printing, improving your bar flow, your workflow, as well as improving products with things like slow feeders, as well as one of the most nifty things I have, something as simple as a plate that expands the size of my buku scale. So you literally put the buku right here, and then you can do pour overs on it with little heat sink ridges. Fantastic. Anyway, he's been using these quite a bit lately, so I was talking to him about them, and he's a huge fan. We have a cup, which you can brew your espresso into, that fits right there if you want while traveling, if you just want to kind of like set off to the side. And we have our basket, and then essentially the little portafilter type of thing. This screws into the body itself. We have this as like a puck screen, essentially, but we have this as the main shower screen. So this is where the water's actually coming out in droplets. And we have a gasket right here. And then in here is the main body of it. We take the top off, which has a nice sealing on it. So it's like silicone or something right here that seals the top. So while it's heating, it maintains as much heat as possible, which is the top portion. And then we have the stainless steel right here where the water goes in, and this is where it's heating up. And as you see, there's a little screen right here that sucks water down once it's to temperature. So there's a valve where it won't let water through. The valve opens once the set temperature is reached. Then the water travels through into a chamber in here before it releases through the shower screen, on top of your puck screen if you use it, and through the coffee bed. So you're capable of reaching up to like 7, 8, 9 bar, depending on your coffee, that's how it always is, right? You can have a Gaggia and notice that the pressure is not getting up to 9 bar. It can be dependent on a lot of things, but it has a capability of hitting more than enough pressure in order to get you your classic espresso or to do some of those fun things. The same capacities, the same battery. They're capable of heating water up 8 to 10 times to full temperature, depending on how high you want that to set that temperature. The biggest difference is the width of the diameter. So 58, because people love the 58mm for whatever reason, maybe because there's accessories, because it's been blindly adhered for so long. I prefer 51 though, but say la vie, say la don't, say I'll do what I won't, say you're true, say to me, whether you like it, say la vie. Bewitched, Ireland, shout out. Now, in addition to these things, you can also pick this nifty little guy up, a nifty gifty, as Michael Scott would say, and that is the Ikape stand. But of course, there's another little nifty feature of this, bada bing, bada boom. We got our soup maker. Look at that. It fits perfectly right on that stand. You can soup till your heart's content. That should be a gift. Cut it. Something else that's really cool about this product that I'm excited to see they integrated, not the phone, but an app inside the phone. So this product, yes, it's made by Ikape, but it's in collaboration with Sarah Plus. Never heard of them, but guess what? They have an app. And in said app, look at this. I actually named one actually 58 because I named the other one the 58mm when I was connecting them via Bluetooth, and it wasn't actually the 58 I connected to. So we're on the actual 58, which is this one. You see we have, bada bing, bada boom, the temperature. It's at 35 because we were brewing before. Of course, we made a little soup, little soupy soup. Shows the battery up here, 44%. So we got another few brews from room temp in there on us. We've got Fahrenheit to Celsius. Of course, you know I'm a Celsius guy. No imperialism for me. We have heating and extraction, which does it start? Heating and, do you want it to start is what it is. It's translated to English. Extraction, do you want to start direct extraction? Heating, do you want to start heating? Person setting, that's just the setting of your brew. And so on here, you can actually go from all the way down to 38 degrees Celsius, all the way up to 96 degrees Celsius. Flow speed, you can go low, medium, or high. Low, medium, or high. I have it on high because give me that high flow. And then you can do pre-soak time, which is just how much is going to soak before you have a pause. But you could turn this to 0 and turn the pause to 0, and then just have all the water coming out and letting it build pressure with the extraction time. All that's valid. I go to a 10-second pre-soak and then a 2-second standstill because I'm doing a little soup style stuff. And the extraction time, I just have it 30, but that doesn't really matter. It's going to go until the water's gone. So you could put it to 250 if you want. It's just going to go till the water's gone. Once the water's gone, you're done. You could have a lower temperature, and guess what? Lower temperature means less battery is being used. So if you find a low temp you like, you might be able to squeeze some more brews. But let's be real, before we need 8 to 10 brews, which is what the room temp will allow you to do on a full battery, you'll probably have access to a plug, I would imagine, to recharge it. Or you can just heat water up, put it in, and let it go. Also, you have altitude up here, which gives you an idea for boiling temp. But anyway, we click save. Perfect. We go back. And so you can do a time preset to have it preset for heating at a certain time. Health manager, I don't even know what that is. Oh, it tells you don't have too many cups. So today we've already brewed 5 with it. Oops. That is what the app looks like. You have some crazy control for a portable little machine. Pretty cool. But can it do what all it says? That is the real question. That's what we're going to test. Now, what I can tell you for certain is that this does heat up a full amount when I filled it to the max line, which is about 85-ish milliliters, 85 to 90 mils from room temp water straight from my tap, which, by the way, it's a heavily filtered tap, to brewing temperature. It took about 3 minutes. We're going to take the flow rate coming out of it with an app so that you can see what the high flow rate is and also just see how it's doing for pre-infusion and whatnot. I'm not actually going to show the heating up on camera because I don't want this battery to be drained with all the stuff I'm going to be doing. We have the kettle at 78, and then we're going to measure the flow as well as how hot it gets before it starts the extraction. We'll go up to the max fill line. Boom, there we are. Now what I'm going to do is shove the thermometer probe into the top here. We're just going to hold down this button until a beep. Boom. Now it's heating. Now, as you see, there are 4 LEDs on here. When all 4 are fully lit up, that's when it will start brewing. Sucked a little bit of the temperature immediately, but it's heating it back up. We're at 79 degrees, or it's down to 78. This probe's probably moving around a bit because it's not perfectly in there. And remember, this isn't sealed, so maybe it gets a smidge hotter than what we're going to see. You see, as the probe moves around, it's changing because it's hitting the wall, hitting different parts of the water. But around 89, it should start. Maybe it'll hit 90. There we go. So I started this. All right, so you hear this is the pre-infusion. So the pre-soak, I should call it. And no, we're good, we're good. So that's the pre-soak, and then we have the full infusion here. So we had the pre-soak for 10 seconds, and then it stopped for 2 seconds, and now we're going back at it. And as you can see, even at high flow, we're only really getting just under 4 grams a second of water. It could have maybe gotten a couple of degrees higher if this was fully pressed on. Who really knows? I can't really test that because, again, I'm limited by what I have, and I don't have some sort of high-tech Bluetooth transmitter device that could do that. So that's what goes on in it. Gets about 90-ish degrees when you go to 96, which to me, as I've been preaching, I think that's as hot as you ever really need to get when it comes to espresso. So for me, that's great, especially when I'm out, like outside in the wilderness, traveling around. That is more than sufficient to me, because if I'm using hot water from somewhere, if I go in to get hot water in a thermos or whatever, I'm probably below 90 degrees anyway, unless I'm using my own burner set, which I can't be hassled to do that. I'll be honest. I know some of you are, and kudos to you. That's cool. But for me, all in one, getting to 90, that's fantastico. We're going to do the same thing here. You know what? I'll just reuse water so we don't waste water. We'll go and pour water in. Slightly less because some got kind of stuck in the machine. So what we'll do is just top it up to max, and there we go. All right, and here we go. Beep. And there it is, right at 90. So it sucks water down in, using a little pump inside, sucks water down in, and we have a just under 4 again, mils a second. Now it's actually like 2.7 grams a second. Then we have the pause, then we're going back. until it runs out of water. So it's actually closer to 3, not 4 grams a second on this. There we go, right at 3. It's not ideal. I would like to have a faster fill rate of that headspace, but again, it's not the end of the world, especially because we have the pre-infusion capability. We can fill it with water and hopefully allow it to pressurize if we do a long enough pre-soak, and then we can move on. So what we need to do now, of course, is we need to brew some espresso. What I'll do is on the 51, I'll brew a soup, and on the 58, I'll brew a traditional. I can't really do soup as well on the 58 due to the fact that it's a wider diameter, takes more water to fill up that puck. We don't have a ton of pre-soak. It's just a little bit more difficult to get everything going, and the water capacity is a bit smaller. You may say, what about a step down basket? But the difficulty there with a step down is then we have even more volume we have to fill before we can actually soak that puck. With not an unlimited water volume up top, makes that even more difficult. So the 58, I really think should be your go-to if you're obsessed with 58 for whatever reason and you drink traditional espresso, where you're going to maximize the dose in whatever basket you use. Now, they come stock with this 18 gram quote-unquote basket. I would recommend just filling it to the brim and then using water to limit headspace. All right, let me just make some space so that I can brew on this 51. I don't really want to use this scale. I have a different scale I want to use because this one's circle. This one, however, is a square, and it doesn't fit the space it doesn't fit the space as well because it's a Squarespace. Squarespace, that is the sponsor of today's video. Now, Squarespace has been an awesome resource that I've been able to use over the past, 7, 8 years or something, and is an asset I think a lot of you entrepreneurs out there or creatives or whatever might benefit a lot from. Now, Squarespace is the easiest way to build your own website. Beautiful aesthetic designs that you don't really have to work hard for. You just plug play and let them do the aesthetics for you, or you can add your own pizzazz, all good to go. Not only do they do that, they give you a place where you can host a community, go back and forth with your fans. They have a place where you can build your own shop, and they can handle the back end of that. So for me, that involves just putting up weird coffee photos, and you know what? That's good to me. I've got a code for you down below, www.squarespace.com/Lance Hedrick. Don't put an N in my last name or I'll kick you. But anyway, with that, you get 10% off your first purchase there so that you can begin to experiment with Squarespace, making a beautiful website, making a beautiful experience for the potential consumers as you are going forward in your entrepreneurial career. But with all of that being said, the most important thing about that spiel is essentially I don't have the space for a square. So instead, I'm using a circle scale, which is an ounce scale. It's been nice, but also it just fits so cutely on that stand. I've been measuring this, and even at the height of temperature during the extraction, the outside of this doesn't get more than 39 degrees Celsius. That's the highest I've read it, even with multiple extractions in a row. So you sitting up there at 39 degrees, guess what? It's like a little hand warmer. It just feels nice. You can put it on your face, but the thing I will say, do not do, which I definitely did, do not touch the inside, even if it's been on for 1 second. I kid you not. I wonder how hot that plate got. Finger in there, burned finger, no fun. If it's shiny, it'll burn your hiney. Let's brew soup, though. Now, if you're a soup freak, then you know, Lance, you need a higher flow rate than 3 to 4 mils a second in order to get soup. You need around 6 mils a second. And I would say, yeah, you're right. But guess what? Sometimes we improvise, and if we want something akin to soup, even if it has a little bit more longer contact time than we want, a little bit lower flow, we're going to get the soup that we want. We're going to put a bottom paper filter in there, bada bing, bada boom. Then we're going to take the little cutesy patootsy collar that comes with the machine. We're going to dump our grounds in, tip-tap, tippy-tap, take that off, take the little palm tamper. They got the ripples on it, whatever, it is what it is. You don't see the rips because of course it is, look at that. No rips, Rip City. Then we're going to take our shower screen and we're going to just toss it boop, right on top there. Now we got our shower screen on, we're going to take this, screw that right on. Boom. I'm not attempting to make thick velvety crema. I want it to come out like it is thin, and it is going to be thin. But we're going to go and pour this water in, and I'm going to pour up to max fill on because I want as much water through that as possible. I'm going to go and start the system. And here we go. Pre-soaking. Filling headspace, and there comes a little bit right there. There we go. Now, what I wanted there is the gentle puck saturation. Then we pause just to allow that pressure dissipate a bit. And now we have full flow coming on. There we go. What I may do is stop it right here. It was more than I wanted. I forgot it was a 15 gram dose. I filled to the max line, shouldn't have done it. So I stopped it at a 1-to-3 ratio, so 45 grams came out and I just swapped the cup. You can obviously just put in the water, taking into account what you want for your yield, to take into account how much the puck's going to absorb, etc. Anyway, I went ahead and stopped it. That is what my soup looks like on this bad boy. Honestly, I could have gone lower temperature. That in cup is hot. 57.2 Celsius. So, delicious, Ugo. 1 to 10.
Solid 8.
I'll take that. I'll take that because this isn't the ideal way to make soup. An 8 out of 10, I'll take it. With like 3 grams a second, I'll take that. Anyway, when you're out and about, an 8 out of 10 soup is a 10 out of 10. If you're drinking it on Mount Everest, it's a 10 out of 10, which I go to every week. And again, this is not hot. Let's see. 39. The very, very top, right up here, where it's the thinnest, 41. Not bad. Anyway, so all that, not too hot. Take that out. Oh, and look at this. The shower screen just stuck. The puck screen stuck on the shower screen. Made life easy for me. Take that out. That does need to be wiped or thrown under a sink, because there's some grounds that'll stick to it, especially the coarser you go. We got this. Look at this. Bing, bang, bong, boom, bang. Bum. Then we just run to a sink. We do a little washy wash. You ready? Done. Incredibly fast. And then you can take the top off if you want. You can, there's a little excess water. You can dump that out, give it a little wipesy poo. You're done, right? Now we're going to brew Trad Spro for those of you who just cannot deal with soup. You can't handle it. And for that, we're using the 58. Shout out to Bear, Coffee Club, Kimoy, Robert Sami, Brian Kwan, the folks out there, shout out. So I am going to be using my own accessories because it's 58, but I don't know if they normally just don't come with these things because it's 58 and they expect you already have one, but it didn't come with that. Now on this one, I packed the puck quite a bit because it's not a traditional espresso machine. I'm not as worried about having like more headspace than really necessary. As you see here, the screen doesn't protrude too much. I'm not using the shower screen or the puck screen on it. I'm just gonna go straight in. There we go. Heating up. I need to put the lid on. See, like all this stuff you can just do. You get your own workflow going. Let me go ahead and dump this while it's heating up. We have more room in this because I drank all that soup. I guess we can see. There we go. We're at 35 on the top part, 35, and on the bottom, 26, the very bottom. 26, 35 on the very top. So, I mean, you can sit here and hold it as it's brewing. It's fine. It's very well insulated. So you can sit here if you're out camping, you just want to hold it, go straight in your mouth. Here we go. Let's move this back a bit. There we go. Pre-soak. Some drippy drips are slowly coming through. Now we have the pause to allow that puck to saturate. And then here we go, full press. And oh yeah, full basket saturated now. Oh, look at this. Look at this juice. That is some syrup. Come to the center. Don't you be coy with me. Don't you be a little... There you go. Oh, yeah. People think that there's a big difference from espresso machine to espresso machine to espresso machine. If it's heating up your water to an understandable range of temperature, and if it is pumping water at a reasonable pressure, anywhere from like, honestly, 4 to 9 bar, 4 to 10, 4 to 11 bar, you're going to get roughly similar results. That's a hot take, oh my God. But honestly, it's not that hot of a take. Look at this. You want crema to be your barometer for the success of an espresso machine? That's dumb. I can do crema on a $50 grocery store machine, which is fresh roast and a decent grinder. But now, I won't be giving this one to Ugo to judge because he cannot be objective when it comes to darker roasts.
Yes, I can.
This is fresh. Wait. I'm a little nervous. He's going to give it a 2 or a 1 or a negative.
-3.
I knew it.
4.
Just so predictable. So predictable. He can't enjoy a little bit of romance in the world, okay? He can't enjoy a little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of that romantic notion of what Italy could be if they use a little bit better beans across the board, like I believe Saka does, based off of conversations and experience tasting at the Crema Bar. When you want to robust in your blend, you little replacement things. Then you have, of course, USB-C cord. You got this little scoop, and they are pod compatible some way. I don't know how. I didn't get a pod, but this little cute scoop, I guess I'll never use it. They even come with little extra little guys like this, which is not an earring. Don't try to look cute. Okay, it's not an earring. You're my little cute scoop. I feel like I don't need to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. No affiliation with the company. There's not going to be an affiliate link. There's not going to be commission given to me for sales. Nothing happens for me. Nada. Nothing. Zippo. Can I speak on if they'll last 6, 7, 8, 9 years? No, no one can speak on that. That's an impossibility at this point. But at the price point and the quality it delivers, and most importantly, for me, if this was just something that you had to plug in and keep at home, I'm not buying it. It is because it heats up water efficiently. It is because it has 8 to 10 reheats, and it is because it has a little bit of fun control you can do on the app, though it looks like there's more control, but really when you switch the flow rate around, it doesn't do too much. When you change the temperature, it does change, but it's not what you see is what you get, right? 92 degrees Celsius on there will get you about 86. So there's about a 4 to 6 degree difference maybe, but that's when I have the lid open, so it's hard to really know. But it gives me the capability of doing all of this without having to rely on heated water or making cold brew because I don't have heated water, and I don't want to do that. I did that yesterday with the OXO because I was out and about and couldn't get hot water. It was fine, but man, I like hot brews, and this gives me hot brews whenever the frick I want. Is it going to replace the way I brew espresso currently? No. Is it going to replace my daily soup? No. I'm still going to use this. When I've got a kettle, I'm using this 10 times out of 10. It gives me a 10 out of 10 soup. This does not give me a 10 out of 10 soup. But what this does afford me the ability of is travel around, not need to rely on a kettle, not need to bring a kettle. I can heat water up in there. I can stop it before it goes, and I can use that hot water to do whatever the frick I want. And we're good to go, my friends. So that's it for me today. Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring the video. Make sure you check out that link down below because, again, that helps the channel, helps me, helps you, helps everybody. You can check out my Patreon where I do competitions and people get things from the channel, like different machines I've reviewed. We recently gave, someone recently won a quick mill pop-up, all the King grinders, the Elite Mara X, all those different things. Patrons get them. It's fun stuff. Check that out. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. All that stuff helps the channel. You know the usual spiel. But I digress. I'm a little over caffeinated. I'm gonna need to go eat some food. I'm gonna need to go reevaluate my life because of how much coffee I drank in this video. You buy this, you don't buy this, you buy something else, you don't buy anything because guess what? We have too much consumerism as is. Let's go watch Dawn of the Dead because it's Halloween month and I am a Halloween baby almost 2 days before. And we need to understand consumerism is not the greatest thing in the world, but don't have FOMO. The most important thing is, as I was trying to say, and before I got on and ran it, I can't even talk because I'm so caffeinated. I hope that you brew something tasty today. Is it still rolling? Good. And cheers.